Hello, beautiful people. So, this is the third installment of the videos giving tips for caregivers of neurodivergent patients. And today we are going to talk a little bit about autism, meltdowns, and tantrums. I know that's something that everybody that has cares for somebody on the spectrum is very familiar with. So, first of all, I want to talk a little bit about autism. I'm not going to get into the weeds about the disorder or the controversial pieces of it, but we do know that it is a neurodevelopmental disorder. We do know that there is a genetic aspect to it, and we know that it affects people in a spectrum in different areas: executive function, socialization, speech, motor skills. So, again, you know, all of the patients they run the gamut. It's a spectrum. So you can go from somebody that is completely independent and high functioning to somebody that is deep in the spectrum and has a little bit more struggles. The other thing to keep in mind is people with autism disorder usually have either too much input or not enough in different areas. And that's where the meltdowns and the tantrums come in. So a tantrum is something that usually is triggered by a very specific incident. It, it it can last a long time, but it's something that is redirectable. That when the child or even an adult is kind of having a tantrum, they are still redirectable. They are still listening. They're still engaging. The difference with the meltdowns is the patient is not engaging at that point. Once they get to that level of intensity, they they're not hearing you. They're not seeing you. They are not processing. They are overloaded, and it's very difficult for most of them to self-regulate. And if it's something that is meaningful to them and you took an adverse action, then that can definitely trigger a meltdown. And when a person is on a meltdown, it could last for a very long time. It doesn't always have a specific trigger. Sometimes the triggers seem very simple or very innocent, as the things that shouldn't be causing that much distress to a person. And that's the difference between a tantrum and a meltdown. So, when you have a patient that is suffering a meltdown, one of the best things to do is to remove them from the area where they're in because they might be overstimulated. If you cannot remove them from that area, make sure that you reduce input as much as possible. Lower your voice. As a matter of fact, the least you talk, the better it will go. Keep it very simple. Keep your prompts very specific and short, concise. Again, um, most of the people in the autism spectrum deal better with visual cues and visual prompts than a lot of talking, especially when they're in a meltdown. Trust me, they're not listening. They cannot. Their brain is stuck in a type of compulsion where they are not engaging with what you're trying to communicate, even when you're trying to help. So, one of the main things to do is reassure them, make them feel safe, Try to provide an area that is like a sensory reprieve for them, and that usually helps. Um, and that's it for today. I'm actually gonna link to a video in the description as well. If you're curious or you've ever wondered how does it feel to be autistic or be an individual with autism, there's a really good video that was actually designed by somebody on the spectrum that wanted to convey what life is for him and how they process. So I'm going to link to that on the video. I think is a very good tool. And nothing, like always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Oh, thank you to everybody that subscribed recently.